Today I'll be reacting to two videos from Wetzel. The first one is how to fix your fear of water, and the second one is how to swim and float. These are two videos that he's created for people who are afraid of deep water or who are beginner swimmers to help them on their journey. Hello, my name is Chidema Obisidenu. I will be reacting from the perspective of someone who used to be deeply afraid of water, so I can tell you which of these strategies could help you on your journey away from fear and which ones may not be as helpful, and I'll propose alternatives for you. We'll start first with how to fix your fear of water.
So being close to water makes you feel very uncomfortable, and even worse being inside the water. Well, you shouldn't fret, because this is normal. Actually, about 50% of adults feel the same way, and even those who can swim can feel very uncomfortable when they don't feel the ground underneath their feet anymore.
He's completely correct. Majority of adults feel uncomfortable in deep water, whether it's deep water in a pool or open ocean water.
Becoming a swimmer, let's now look at how that fear is generated and what you can actually do to address it.
Step 1 is understand your fear before you fight it. Whenever I'm asked to teach somebody to swim, especially somebody who's very apprehensive, to me the most important and interesting question is, why do you want to learn to swim? Through this, I try to find out what background led a student to develop their fear. This is crucial because, like with any fear we try to overcome, the first step should always be to understand why we're afraid.
This is absolutely brilliant. There should be an unpacking of what happened with the fear. How's the fear there? How did you develop the fear? For some people, it might just be their parents were afraid, and this is something they just inherited in a sense. And for some people, it might be an actual event that triggered that terror in deep water. Maybe some friends pushed them into deep water in jest. Maybe somebody tossed them into water thinking that was the best way to teach them to swim. And for some of us, it's just our body reacting the normal way it does. Our brain triggers panic when we're in situations where it believes that we might die. And if we don't have skills or comfort in deep water, then our brain is right to believe that we might be in jeopardy of survival when we're in deep water. So our brain may just trigger panic in deep water, and it may not be a particular activity that triggered it. But understanding your fear, understanding the nature of fear, allows you to approach it with the right attitude. I see a lot of judgment and shame around fear. A lot of people don't like to admit they're afraid because people look at them weirdly. They look at them as though they're lacking in some way, and they're not. Fear is normal. Panic is something the brain does normally to protect us. There should be no shame in fear. But acknowledging that and understanding how the body protects us is important to approach your experience with empathy and not judgment.
Take a minute to look back. Is there any event that comes to mind? Can you hear the voice of an apprehensive parent telling you to stay away from the water? Maybe somebody pushed you in the pool when you were little. Did someone you know have a negative experience with water?
You see, these negative events can get deeply rooted in your imagination, actually causing exactly that emotional break, which is now keeping you away from the water.
By the way, remember that all these memories are in the past, so best leave them there and take the next step. Step 2. Take lessons with someone you trust.
Before you learn to swim, make sure you learn to float. Get help from a professional or a proficient family member who can come and help you.
To achieve the best results for yourself, you should find someone you can trust. You need to feel comfortable with their support in the water.
Comfort.
And this person should be there to assist you in a safe, understanding and unrushed manner.
Love this. This is so important. You must learn to be comfortable in water, and you must learn to be safe. Let's talk about comfort. The comfort part is critical because that is where you begin to train your brain to see the water as a safe and comfortable place to be in. Remember, the brain triggers panic when it believes that we are not safe or that we're in a situation we should not be in. But when we've allowed the brain to see us in a state of comfort, then the brain starts to associate the water with a place of comfort and a place of safety. So it's important to practice in comfort and in safety. Those two things. If you want comfort and you want safety, you have to practice comfort and you have to practice safety.
And don't underestimate how far you can get with some good lessons.
Step number 3.
Your experience starts from outside the water.
Before entering and getting wet, understand the water and its properties. Grasp the concept of buoyancy and flotation, and remember that, in time, water will be your best friend.
Your lessons should always be broken down and discussed beforehand in a briefing, and it might sound a little mystical, but practicing visualization, breathing and relaxation exercises outside the pool can be very helpful.
I love this. This is absolutely key. In our courses to teach people to overcome their fear of deep water and learn to swim, it is just as important to spend time on land, unpacking your fear, understanding how your body reacts in water and in places where it's not comfortable, and understanding why you may have chosen to remain afraid and avoid water. Also understanding why it's now important for you to learn to start to swim, even if you've avoided it for a long time. Also understanding how the water works, nature of buoyancy, your body composition and how that would affect you in water, and also begin to compare what you're learning now about the water versus beliefs you've had before, and shedding some of those limiting beliefs. Some of this work happens on dry land. So it's just as important to spend time on dry land, understanding some of these concepts, understanding yourself, your fear, your body, and also understanding the truth of water before you actually practice skills. So yes, dry land time is just as important as in water time practicing skills.
Go slowly and go gradually.
This is a step-by-step process, so you should feel comfortable at all times. Go at your own pace and don't rush. Overcoming your fear of the water, let alone swim, can take some time, so go gradually.
Only take the steps you feel comfortable with and master previous steps before moving forward. If who is teaching you is rushing you, they are probably not the right choice for you.
Oh my God, I could not overemphasize this. It is so important to go at your own pace. You're not comparing yourself with somebody else. You're not comparing yourself with what you think you should look like or other people's expectations. Your journey is unique. Your body composition is unique. The sources of your fear in your particular context is unique. So why do you think your journey should be similar to anybody else's? It shouldn't be. Go at your own pace. If you're going with an instructor who you feel rushed around, it's not a good fit. Also, mastering one thing before adding another. I cannot begin to tell you how many times it was hard for me to grasp a certain skill or concept or something that was going on. And it was only because I was trying to do too much at a time. The first swim lesson I took, they were trying to teach me how to do the front crawl, and they were showing me what to do with my arms, what to do with my breath, and what to do with my legs. And once I do the legs and the arms, I might be able to keep that together. But the moment I try to add a breath, it all fell apart. Or I'll try to do the breath and the arms, and that might kind of work. But the moment I want to add the legs, it'll fall apart. At the point I just got to the instructor, I was like, look, I can only do 2 out of the 3, so pick which 2. And to pass my exam, I actually did just the arms and the legs. So I took one big breath at the beginning, held my breath the entire time, and just went arms and legs all the way to one end of the pool, exhaled, took another breath, and came back. And that's how I passed my exam. Does that sound to you like true swimming? No. But that's what happens when you try to do too many things at once, when you try to learn too many skills at once. Master one first. And when you give all your attention to one and you have a full embodiment of it, then you have attention to spare to learn something else or add something else on top of it. It's the same reason that some people can swim for relaxation, because they've mastered swimming so much, they don't have to bring attention so much to the swim part. They can focus attention somewhere else. That's what also happens when you learn anything. You give your full attention to the first thing, and once you've embodied it, then you can take that attention away from it and give it to something else. But don't try to learn 2 different things at the same time. Master one before you add the other.
Practice safely.
No matter how good you think you are, it can be very powerful. So always remember to respect the water.
Don't practice by yourself or in deep water if you're still learning the basics, and keep some safety devices with you. And finally, have some fun.
So that was Wetzel's how to fix your fear of water. I thought it was a brilliant video. That is a video to watch if you are on your journey away from fear of deep water. It will help you understand some of the basics of the things you should be thinking about as you start out on your journey. So we're going to move on to the second video, which is how to swim and float.